All day in the fabric of America's public life, the NFL trade deadlines today, 3 o'clock this afternoon. The first college football playoff rankings are today.
Oh, yeah.
Huge today. Huge
6 o'clock
today.
tonight, I believe. You're right about that.
And
Barry, can the Saints just go ahead and get rid of their entire roster, or is there a limit?
it was, they have done so many bad things. I mean, the Saints have lost 7 games in a row. 7 games in a row. Smartest thing they did, really the whole year, John, was wait until after our live show ended at 9 o'clock in the morning to announce that Dennis Allen has been fired. Because if that had happened at like 7:30 or 8, Longshore would have been in a rumble line back at the house. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, Darren Rizzi. Anybody? Darren Rizzi?
Yeah.
He is the interim coach there.
They're playing out the string.
They're
They're playing out the string, and Parcells after that.
Mhm.
I don't know about Parcells or not, but yeah, I just, and I think this might be a topic on the wheel, so I won't say a lot about it just yet. But except that, I've heard these people say, I'm never happy when somebody gets fired. I don't wish somebody to get fired. Then how should I put it to make it sound better?
Woo! Yeah! Woo!
The guy needed to be let go. How about that? Does that sound any better?
Oh, no. He didn't use the word fired, but everything else was the same. John replaced the word fired with let go, and all of a sudden it's supposed to be more warm and fuzzy.
I mean, they jump out the first 2 games scoring 40 a game. We're going, all right, well, okay, give the guy a chance. Maybe they turn some stuff around in the offseason. Then they go lose the next 7 straight. Ridiculous.
And look bad doing it. So, yeah, it's a happy day for John today. But, yeah, seriously, critical day in American public life and everything. Get out and vote today. You're American, right? I mean, if you're not American, welcome in. Our international viewers, bonjour. But if you're in America, if you're a citizen, do your duty.
Well, Bear, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm proud. My number 3 son spent the night. I think he might have missed 1 class yesterday. I said, I might have done that a time or 2 myself, so it's okay. But he got up this morning. He and his mom just left. They are heading to the polls. This will be the first time he's ever voted. And he stayed in town so he could vote, and then he's heading back to T-Town immediately after he cast his ballot. So, wow, glad that he thought enough of it to miss a class and then be here to vote. I was proud of him.
That is a good thing for sure. I've never missed an election. Now, there have been some things in elections that I haven't voted on.
Yep.
I think there was something when I was living in Auburn to make cemeteries tax deductible or something and all that kind of stuff. And so I said, I don't know enough about that. I don't know anybody in the cemetery business, so I'm going to sit this one out. But I've never missed an election, and I have been, holy smokes, voting for a long time. I'm not missing this one for sure.
Yeah, we don't need to say how many elections we've. I'm trying to think. The first president, I guess, was Reagan. Was the first presidential election that we?
Yeah.
That we were able to vote in governor. I want to say it was that year that. Charlie Graddick and Bill Baxley went at it, and Guy Hunt ended up winning.
Smokes! Oh my gosh!
That was and Guy Hunt was like the first Republican governor in like
that was
years.
You voted way before then. That was like 85 or 86 or something. I was
in Alabama when Guy Hunt got elected.
Well, that doesn't narrow it down a whole heck of a lot. So
maybe I voted Bob James. I think maybe Bob James.
That sounds more plausible.
Yeah, something like that.
That sounds more plausible.
So, it is election. As a matter of fact, Barry, and I had a question about this. I was curious. I'm asking for a friend. I noticed in Florida, they are voting on legalizing weed.
That's not what they're calling it. Come on.
Well, marijuana, leisure marijuana legalization. How about that? Does that sound okay?
As opposed to medicinal, are there only 2 kinds of marijuana utilization? Medicinal and leisure.
Yeah,
I like that word, leisure marijuana use.
You got a script to smoke it, or you don't. But I understand it's a big battle down there in the Sunshine State. I mean, huge. It's a big thing on the ballot today. They've pumped millions and millions and millions of dollars into the yay and nay for the legalization of marijuana. And I was just thinking about it because I've said it on this program many a times. If I'm buying liquor, I'm usually buying it in Florida because it's a heck of a lot cheaper. I don't think I'm breaking any laws. I don't think I can bring more than like 4 cases over at a time. I'm not
4
sure
cases? Okay.
But
Who are you, Smokey and the Bandit?
If they legalize weed in Florida and I cross the bridge and get some, can I bring it back to Alabama?
No, you cannot. I mean,
Whoa.
not 20. No. Are you telling me that there are people that actually do that elsewhere? Is there people smoking weed in the state of Alabama?
I understand there are people that go all the way to Colorado and bring it back, but I'm just saying. I mean, that's just people that I've heard about, but I just thought about that.
And then Cletus and all those guys, too. You know, they go to Colorado and bring it back.
I understand it's going to be a close vote down there in the Sunshine State, but somebody asked me, I'm asking for a friend, that if you bring it back across the bridge. All right, so we got a lot going on today, Barry. As a matter of fact, we're going to speak to a politician today. Carolyn Dobson's going to join us later this hour. As a matter of fact, I believe she is actually voting at this
right now.
very moment. And she's going to join us later, right after Bryan Matthews. He'll join us at the bottom of this hour from auburnsports.com. Travis Ryer, Talking Tide, Ryer on YouTube at the top of the next hour. And then we're going to speak with Ellis Terry. He is the president of Yellowhammer News. And we told you about the big announcement on Friday. We talked a lot about it again yesterday. Barry and I have partnered up with the good folks at Yellowhammer News. You see the logo there on the screen. Yellowhammer News, Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. And very excited about that. You can check them out at yellowhammernews.com. As a matter of fact, there's a nice little article about Barry and me on their website. At least it was last night. I'm sure you can find it if they've moved it around today. Of course, they're all over Facebook and YouTube and X and everything else, everywhere else you can go to find your social media platforms. But Ellis is going to join us to tell us a lot more about what Yellowhammer's about and our involvement with them. So we're real excited about that. They have a lot of coverage and, man, very excited about our association with them.
Yeah, it's a symbiotic deal. They get our expertise, and I don't know about the look on my face. Couldn't there be something a little bit better on me?
That was the piece yesterday in Yellowhammer News. Gern's scrolling it there. Yeah, I've learned a long time ago.
That's better of me. Yeah, that's I always look. Whenever Longshore and I are talking, I usually have this skeptical look on my face, like, what? And they captured that one on there. Yeah.
When we put those little posts up after our show, usually our guest or something, and they'll say, what do you think we ought to title this? I said, buyer's remorse today.
Nice.
Talking, of course, about a subject that we had yesterday about Hugh Freeze, which I'm sure we'll get into today.
Well,
but yeah, I noticed being in TV, I know you've been into it as well, Barry, when they take a little just snapshot of you, it's never usually some flattering picture. It's always action move or, Yeah, exactly. The advertiser used to be bad about that when they take pictures of people.
Just whenever they use the best was we would every once in a while I'd go through there and I'd try to pick out the worst action shots from the Blue Gray Tennis Classic because nobody can hit a tennis ball and look cool. It's always like Monica Seles in the Rat Family or something like that. It was they do that all the time.
It's horrible. Yeah,
we do have a lot going on today. Lots of very special, very insightful guests and everything. We're going to try to piece in a little bit of the Victoryland topic wheel. Now's a good time. Yeah. We've got to mix it in today because we are moving on the show today.
We are moving today. You're right about that. Let's get it going. I mean, Gern's got it loaded up, man. We got a lot on the wheel. Nobody has said spin the wheel yet on the chat line, but I'm sure it's coming. Yeah. So let's go ahead and spin that bad boy, Gern, and see what pops up early thing, man. We're spinning this thing right out of the gate this morning. I love it. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Tide hoops. I think I used hardwood or round ball yesterday.
Yeah. Round ball on the hardwood.
I'm running out of names, but Barry, I watched a little of the Bama basketball game last night. I'm not really sure what I was looking for because I'm not sure the team they played was any good. Hence the score.
Yeah, North Carolina, Asheville. Alabama played at home, opened up the season. At the end of the first half, Alabama led 50-29. And it got worse. Alabama outscored the Bulldogs 60-25 in the second half. 60 points and a half. Alabama wins going away 110-54. Mark Sears led the Tide with 20 points, including 3 out of 4 3-pointers. Crimson Tide overall shot 63% from the floor.
Pretty impressive.
That's basically a defense like water, There wasn't much to that.
Huh.
So yeah.
I remember a coach telling me that one time in junior high. That's how I played defense, like water. Defense.
So Crimson Tide wins going away. They beat North Carolina Asheville 110-54. Crimson Tide next in action at home on Friday against Arkansas State. If you say you watched a little bit of that game, I know you have an appraisal of the crowd.
Well, I do, actually. And I did watch a little bit of it. My number 4 son, who's really the basketball guy, he watched the whole game.
Of course.
I went to bed and he was still up. I said, hey, man, make sure all the lights are off when you get through. I thought the crowd was pretty good. I'll give them that. Monday, 8 o'clock, about 8:10 before they tipped. And Monday night, late, I get it. It's the first game, first real game, I guess, after making that Final Four appearance. I'll say this, Barry. I don't think there's ever been a crowd that big for an opening game against a team like UNC Asheville. Now, if that had been, Duke or something, it'd have been standing room only. But UNC Asheville, first game, Monday night, I thought it was pretty good.
Yep. I did television last night for Troy and Toledo in the opener for the Trojans. Troy wins 84-74 over Toledo. It's the MAC Sun Belt Challenge, and Troy looked really good in that game. Very physical game. College hoops is upon us. We are underway with the round ball. Auburn, they don't open until tomorrow. They take on Vermont. I think Vermont played UAB yesterday, and I think Vermont beat them. Vermont wins over UAB. They play at Auburn tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, SEC Network. So, basketball's here.
It is here, but football certainly is getting into the thick of it. November, a big, big month, and there's a big one in Baton Rouge on Saturday night. How much access you think Brian Kelly's going to give Saban this week when the game day crew comes down to Baton Rouge?
See, that's a thing. Saban has got an office in the Alabama football stadium, which for many years I had been told was an absolute no-no. What in the world are you doing? Hanging on around the program when you're no longer the coach. I had heard that was like excommunication from the church or something like that. When you're gone, go, leave. But Saban, it's okay now. Evidently, the statute of limitations on having a coach actually having an office in the football stadium has evidently expired. And if I'm Brian Kelly, I'm not giving him anything. If I was Josh Heupel, no, any of those guys. I'm sure Saban is ethical and all that kind of stuff, but still, you're going to give a guy who has an office at Bryant-Denny Stadium and his team is coming to play yours in an elimination game and say, sure, let me show you around. Here's this. Look at this guy. Boy, we hope to use him on this flea flicker on Saturday. Don't tell anybody. And Nick says, okay, sure.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're trying to pick up what Barry's throwing out there, this is a reference to the legendary former late, great Pat Dye, who I've kind of wondered, is he still running the show in Auburn?
He's no longer formerly late, great. He's still late, but he's still great.
Even I think he's running the show from the grave still today. But
that's what the rumors were always. He's the one telling everybody what to do. How do you figure that?
So, out allegedly raising money and, hanging out at practice and being on radio shows all around the Southeast and things of that nature. But Saban works for a reputable organization, nation.
Sure, now he
worldwide,
does.
ESPN. I mean, he's got to have an office. At least his office is not in the Mal Moore building, which I thought was a very good move. You don't want that guy hanging around where all the
So wait a minute. He's like on the other side of the Mal Moore building over there, opposite in the stadium, opposite the cemetery, opposite Tusco and all that. He's sitting. Who's over there on that side? Is he sitting over there with crickets going?
I wonder. He's in Bryant Denny Stadium. Who's he in there with? I mean, like the guy's cutting the grass.
Yeah. Ronaldo, the women's soccer coach. I mean, who are they?
I don't really know.
Hey, we got to, I mean, you're right next to the broom closet or something. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't see the comparisons to Coach Dye's retirement and Nick Saban's.
Of course you don't. Yes,
I don't see the similarities.
Here's the one thing. And I know John knows this. He just doesn't want to say it. He's being all touchy-feely because, he thinks that Dennis Allen needed to be let go. He doesn't want to say he was fired. This is what the difference is. Saban won, 7 natties? You win 7 natties, and by gosh, you can go out and relieve yourself in the bushes in front of the Mal Moore building every morning at 9. And they're going to be cool with it.
Barry, that's a great point. I didn't really think about that. I mean, he's got 7 natties. He can do what he wants to. So,
exactly.
But I do like he's kind of distanced himself maybe a little bit more. My sources tell me he's not hanging around practice or telling the coaches what to run or telling the AD who to hire. But, your sources are much more attuned to what's been going on 2.5, 3 hours down the road. I think I had better sources in Auburn than I did in Tuscaloosa.
I do too. So do I. No question.
Let's take our first break of the day. When we get back, we're spinning that wheel some more. We got Bryan Matthews of AuburnSports.com coming up at the bottom of the hour. Thanks to everybody on the chat line, sponsored by River Region Straw. Good morning to everybody. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate that. Theodis, yes, I've got 5 children. 3 of them are mine. 2 of them are my wives. And my wife's, when we got married, we had 5. So we got a lot going on over here.
And somebody asked me about that. He knows their names. He doesn't just call them, hey, number 4 son, hey, number 2 daughter. He knows it. It's like a coach. It's like a coach looking at film. When you talk to a coach and say, hey, what do you think, Fred Smith, your defensive? What number is he? You give me numbers. I do numbers. 4 jumps out on the.
It's just easier to understand who we're talking about around here when we number them. So it's just a lot easier. Anyway, let's take a quick break. More chat, more emails. We're going to get to it. We want you to be a part of it as well.
It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com. Enjoy all the food, drink, fun, and winning at Victoryland. An elevated entertainment value, the best overall casino experience, and the highest jackpot payouts makes Victoryland the place to be. Go to Victoryland.com to find out more about their incredible giveaways, daily promotions, and free play opportunities. 777 Casino, simulcast Thoroughbred, and Greyhound Racing are all within a short drive from anywhere in the Southeast. Victoryland, I-85, Exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. At Victoryland, you can be a winner too.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air has teamed up for the 4th year with the Food Bank of East Alabama and Montgomery Area Food Bank in an effort to reduce the high percentage of food insecurity within the Montgomery and Auburn communities. For every new Dixie Cares Plan membership that is purchased, Dixie will be donating 7 meals to partnered food banks. Last year alone, Dixie donated 13,356 meals. Our goal for 2024 is 15,000. Thank you for choosing Dixie and for helping us make a difference within our community.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is about 21 minutes past the hour here on this Tuesday. Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Checking out some of the chats we got going on today. Great stuff from our viewers and listeners. We really appreciate that. I love it when they kind of communicate amongst each other on the chat line, Barry. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Ty says, Ty and Kirk are saying, yeah, I saw the Doobie Brothers a few times when Michael McDonald was still with him. Ty says, I think the Doobie Brothers played the Hard Rock in Tampa recently. The Hard Rock has lots of classic rock bands from the 70s and 80s. It's kind of its own little subculture up here. You and I are the high priests, and those guys are the congregation. I like it.
Yeah, that is good stuff.
Yep.
Really appreciate that. Also, we got a great email here. I think this is from Theotis.
Hang on.
It is the Cowboy fan Halloween costume. It says,
that is Theotis. Let's see.
Unrealistic expectations, Yankees and Lakers hats included, smash TVs, hilarious season-ending trick play.
Not included a 21st century NFC championship game appearance.
Ooh,
very nice. Very nice.
Theotis. Yeah. Cowboy. Are they playing out the string? Dak's a little bummed up. He's hurt.
You heard it here first. Mike McCarthy is the next to go.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
I'm surprised he's still there, to be honest. Dak is out for multiple games. Cooper Rush will be the starting quarterback. Cooper Rush.
I'm not sure I know him. Okay, let's
yes.
Yeah, Cooper Rush. Okay, Gerd, let's get that wheel up going. Let's see what we got left on our Victoryland 777 topic wheel today. Ooh, all right.
Here we go. Who's it gonna be?
College football playoff. Barry, you touched on it earlier today. I believe it's at 6 p.m. tonight. It will be the first college football playoff poll revealed.
Yep, it's going to go straight. It begins at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, and it's going up against election coverage. So that's what I'm going to be watching. Maybe things will be decided by then. Who knows?
So if I'm looking at the AP Top 25 right now, or the coaches poll, I'm looking at both of them side by side.
Right.
I see Alabama both in the top 12. Do you expect Alabama to be in the poll tonight in the top 12?
Yes, I do. I expect him to be number 11. Here's what you need to know. Independents can never get a bye and can never get a top 4 seed. And when I say independents, I'm not talking about UMass. That means Notre Dame. Notre Dame in this setup will never get a bye. They'll always have to play a first-round game. The first-round games of the 5 and 12 seeds, the 6 and 11s, the 7 and 10s, and the 8 and 9s are going to be played at the site. The quarterfinals this year are at the Fiesta, the Peach, the Rose, and the Sugar. The Sugar will be for the SEC champions out there. So you've got the power conferences, then you got Notre Dame and the bubble teams, and then in order, you've got the group of 5 after that. Right now, Alabama is on the bubble. If the 12-team bracket, again, with what I just said, the conference champions get the top 4 seeds. Notre Dame can't. They have to play. And then you go, if they went by those rules right now, Alabama would get the last at-large spot. SMU would be a spot behind that. There are 3 2-loss teams that would follow: LSU, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and then Iowa State is next. To be honest, if I'm Alabama fan, John, I'm not paying too much attention tonight. Maybe it's a source of pride to say, hey, we're in the playoff. Look, you lose on Saturday,
it don't matter.
It don't matter.
Barry, looking at the AP poll right now, Alabama's at 11. Would that mean they would play at Penn State, who's currently ranked 6th?
That would be the case.
And Boise would play at Texas?
Yep. That's my understanding. So there's
right there at number 8. Wow. BYU at 9. Very interesting. Are they passing the eye test? I mean, who's on this committee?
Have you watched any back in the old, when the college football playoff was 4 teams?
Yeah.
Fess up. Have you ever watched one of these playoff ranking reveals from beginning to end?
Not beginning to end.
The whole thing, 1 hour.
No. Once I found out who was in, that's all I needed to see.
Which is what they know, which is why they're waiting and shucking and jiving and Now let's bring in Bill Hancock. That's when John would leave the room, go get a Bud Light. Now, and then at the very last, they'll put the other stuff in there. So,
that you're right. I mean, tonight, Saturday night is the big deal. And Bama, last I checked, was a 3-point favorite. I need to update those today and see if that's still the case. I'm sure it's somewhere close to that. But you lose, you're out. And I think we talked about it yesterday. If Bama loses Saturday night, Monday is going to be a very interesting program here with Longshore Midnight on Bud Light, because I'll be interested to see what the reaction is going to be. All right, we're done. Who wins the next basketball game?
The what bowl?
Yeah.
The Gator? I ain't going. That's what I love about Bama fan. If it's not for the Natty or rank and file Bama fan, if it's not for the Natty or in a playoff or a New Year's Day bowl game, even a New Year's Day bowl game, if it's not that, this is what differentiates Bama fan. Not only are they not going, they brag that they're not going. They're proud that they don't go. My standards are way too high for me to sully myself with attendance at the Gator Bowl to support my favorite college football team.
And Barry, that might not be the way you're supposed to do. You need to support these young men. And that
rah.
Oh, State U. Bama fan doesn't look at it that way.
No.
I'm trying to think of what bowl game. Was that Oklahoma game when that woman got in a fight?
The Sugar Bowl.
Was that a playoff or just a Sugar Bowl?
It was just a Sugar Bowl.
Just a Sugar Bowl.
It was just a Sugar Bowl against Oklahoma. What is it? 6 Heisman Trophy winners, national championships, blue blood. Bama fans couldn't have cared less.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what's you're missing the rank and file of college football.
Yes,
they're bragging about it. No, I'm not going.
Barry, this is the Saturday night, Sunday after church. Probably won't say it in church. That's not very church-like, but you're out, talking about things. Hey, man, what'd you think? Well, I ain't going to the Gator Bowl. You kidding me?
See, that's it. That's it. It's like, for everybody else, it's like, golly, I'm going to try. I really am. Have you seen flights? Oh, they're so expensive. Or, my Aunt Agnes has lumbago or something. Golly, I really would like to go. Bama fans, heck no.
Yeah.
Gator Bowl?
Not going to happen.
No.
Not going to happen. Not even thinking about it letting happen. All right.
Let's take a break.
Yeah, let's take a break because we might be a little pinched in the last section of this hour. But when we come back, our man Bryan Matthews, AuburnSports.com, is going to join us.
He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight presented by Bud Light.
Shopping for a budget-friendly, reliable used car, or maybe a stunning new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram? Well, in Prattville, it's always a process that starts with the team of professionals from Stiver CDJR. Thanks to years of experience helping others in the local community enjoy premium service, low prices, and access to a wealth of amazing new and used cars, it's safe to say that Stiver's Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram is the name to beat in Prattville. But hey, just don't take my word for it. Experience the Stiver's difference for yourself. Prices that will not be beat, a huge inventory, and knowledgeable, helpful sales associates. See why so many happy car and truck buyers shop at Stiver's CDJR, where price spells cars and trucks on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville.
Hi, this is Benji with Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry. Guys, this is the time to shop. The holidays will be here before you know it. Our cases are slam full, so take advantage and lay away for Christmas now. We have a full repair shop and design shop, so if you dream it, we can make it for her. And if you need any repairs, we have an in-house master jeweler. At Marguerite's, we make it. We really make it. At Marguerite's, we are open 7 days a week. Come see us at the Preparatory Shopping Center, 8163 Vaughn Road, Montgomery, Alabama, right by Chappie's.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316. All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
All right, here we are back at it. We got some more left on the topic. We'll get to that in just a moment. But right now, as we do each and every Tuesday, our friend Bryan Matthews, auburnsports.com, joining us here this morning on our City of Montgomery guest hotline. Bryan, good morning. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. And I heard the commercial about y'all have the best guests, and I could not agree more.
There you go. This, we always like to play that right in front of your visit just to add proof to that claim for sure. All right, Bryan, I think Vanderbilt has had 5 games this year where they've given up 27 or more points. Yeah. They give up 7 to Auburn on Saturday in Auburn. 17-7, Vandy wins it. How in the world did that happen?
Defense really, really good. Congratulations to DJ Durkin on doing a great job developing that side of the ball and continue to get better on that side of the ball. Offense was terrible. Special teams was awfully terrible. And once again, Auburn outgains an opponent significantly, I think by 100 yards, 327 to 227, and just can't finish. Can't put the ball in the end zone. Looked good between the 20s. Looked like a heaping pile of yeah.
I hear you.
Inside the 20s.
I hear you. Special teams. Let's start with that. If you're playing baseball and you go into a slump and you can't get a hit, or you're a golfer and you can't make a 4-footer, it kind of gets to you mentally between the ears. And I know there's been some illness with one of the place kickers at Auburn, and the other one's very young. I believe he's a true freshman. But, man, making field goals has been a chore.
It has. Alex McPherson got a serious illness, lost 55 pounds in the summer. Wow. Finally found a way to treat it after several weeks, and was on the road to recovery. Had returned a couple of weeks ago, but he had a setback last week, so he was unable to kick in that game. Towns Magoo, as a true freshman, was brought in expecting to redshirt, kind of thrown in the fire. And I just think he's, got the yips, I guess you could say, or, is in a slump, however you want to term it. It's just not going his way. And I also think that, asking a guy that's kicking like he is to try to make a 52-yarder on 4th and 4 there just is not putting players in positions where they can succeed. And that's a big problem, I feel like, on offense.
Putting players into positions where they can succeed. John and I and you both thought last week, finally, they have bought in, put all their chips in the middle of the table for Jarquez Hunter. He ran for 278. He gets 12 rushes.
2 in the second half.
As they say, as the kids say, explain that to me like I'm 5.
I'm waiting for somebody over there to explain it to me like I'm 5.
Why is the best chance to win, to use your phrase,
right,
putting your players with the best chance to succeed, why is the best chance to succeed having Peyton Thorne throw it 29 times and having Hunter run it 12?
I don't know. And he was asked after the game, if Hunter was banged up, and he said, no, I thought he looked gassed, which was really strange to me after he had 20-something carries in the second half last week. So I don't have a firm understanding of what was going on there. And I think somebody broke it down for me in the game, when you take away the sacks and the scrambles and everything and the wide receivers and the quarterback runs, Auburn's running backs, I think, had like around 21 carries for 91 yards. So they were still successful with, running backs running the ball, but they stopped doing it in the second half for the most part. And I think that put them in a position where they can't win. They cannot win offensively running this offense through Peyton Thorne right now. It just doesn't work.
I used this term yesterday, Brian. I don't really like it. I think people are using it too often and too freely. Maybe I'm just an old fuddy-duddy, but I used it anyway because I couldn't think of another term to describe Jarquez Hunter when I'm heard people say, well, he was gassed. I said, no, I think he was pissed. And he's thinking, why am I not getting the ball? I mean, I'm running it all over Kentucky. And I know maybe Vanderbilt's D-line's playing better, maybe better athletes, whatever. But you got to give the guy the ball. And he's standing over there on the sidelines, and you're going, the guy's pissed. He's not gassed.
Yeah, first of all three of us are old fuddy-duddies. I hate that to everybody out there.
That's my favorite term that John uses.
I think there's to me, a person who's covered college football at Auburn for 20-plus years, this whole thing's, I think there's more to it. And I don't know that answer. I don't want to speculate. That's not how I roll, but yeah, there's something a little fishy. I think John likes to use that word sometimes. There's something a little fishy for me. Something
I have
going
used
on.
that word a lot. Yeah, I have. So what happens in the off week? I mean, are they going to try maybe a new quarterback? I've heard that. Is Peyton Thorne's time at Auburn done? Do you move in somebody else? I mean, man, what happens in the next 3 games?
I just assumed it was the week you worked on your golf game, caught up on your shows. What are you talking about?
Yeah, not anymore.
Last off week, they had 2 practices, and one was tough. I would hope, number one, that the plan this week is to get a little bit more serious about the game of college football. No offense. Sorry, I'm being a little mean there. I admit, but I'm a little bit exasperated with what's going on with this team right now. I do think they've reached the point in the season now, 3-6, that maybe it is time to not really look at who's necessarily the best quarterback or the best such and such in practice, and just put out some guys and see if they can develop and do something a little bit different. I know that Hank Brown got a shot early in the season, finished half of a game pretty good, and then came out in the next half and got a really tough start to that game. Was that Arkansas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a minute. But maybe it's time to give him another shot. The problem I think with Auburn at the quarterback position is there is no, this is the next guy. The next guy isn't there yet, in my opinion. So that's just, people who are frustrated with that position. There's no, in my opinion, a great solution there right now on the team. And then, the other position on offense, offensive tackle, they've shuffled around. They've done a lot of things, but that's just something they're going to have to continue to deal with.
I can't remember the last time I felt really, really good about the Auburn offensive line. Ed King,
2013.
John, maybe, Lee Simba, those guys.
2017, yeah, before
Didn't Lee Zimba get some chop blocks called on him, Barry?
That's John's
they can use
standard.
some of those.
Yeah.
They can use some of those right now.
If you're not chopping, you're not trying.
That's right.
Is
Yeah,
Hugh
I have
Freeze
no
in?
doubt.
Is Hugh Freeze in trouble?
Not this year. Nope. The one thing that is in complete and total contrast to what's going on in the field is that recruiting class. And it's amazing to me that they've been able to keep it together and add to it. And it's possible they could add to it again this week. We'll see. So this staff deserves, credit for what they're doing in that area of this football program. And it's something Auburn hasn't had in 2 decades at least, is recruiting like this. So that's something to be proud of. They got until December 4th, just over a month to hold on to this class. Donovan Starr's a kid that's visited, I think, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia. So some big time teams are coming after him. But unlike other years where I would just go ahead and say this guy's gone, Auburn's going to fold up, they have no chance. Auburn is continuing to fight, and they do have a chance to hold on to him. They might not, but they do have a real legitimate chance the way this group recruits and the relationships they're able to build and sell for the future of this program. So, that's going to work for one more year, I feel like, for Auburn. But boy, oh boy, there better be some progress real soon.
One of the things that we're learning, and I didn't have a chance to see this, I apologize. I was working my own game, but a lot of the people, Bryan, on our chat room are saying that you were epic on the post-game brain drain on Saturday. Is there any gist that we haven't touched on yet that was a particular bee in your bonnet, maybe?
Oh boy.
They said it was. I mean, people were getting popcorn out, and it was.
The only thing I would add that we haven't really talked about is, this is 4 consecutive losing seasons for Auburn. This is a program that is beloved. In the midst of this, we've had 13, I believe, straight sellouts. I mean, let's be legitimate here. How many other schools in the country would really be in that situation where they could lose so much and still pack out that stadium at Jordan-Hare? And then Auburn's getting a ton of financial support. And for this program to be at the level it is now and the level it has been is not just about Hugh Freeze. It's not just about Brian Harsin. It's not just about Gus Malzahn. It's about the leadership. It's about the board. It's about the president of Auburn failing in their jobs over and over for Auburn to get to this point. So that's another thing I've talked about many times. And there's a lot of instances you could point to, and I could get on here and rant for 30 minutes. Which maybe I will be doing at some point later this year. But
we'll hold you to that.
Yeah, you got to look at you got to hold some of these people accountable, at least so they know that it's their failures, their hires, their decisions that have Auburn in this position.
But I don't think you can blame John Cohen. And I think this was a mess before he got there, before Hugh Freeze got there. I mean, I've heard people talk about the records of Hugh Freeze and Brian Harsin, but Brian Harsin had a roster that had some talent on it. I'm not sure Hugh Freeze did. I think this is a big building project. I've said it since the beginning. You got to be patient. I know it's hard to be patient when we've seen some of the play calling, when we've seen how games have ended, particularly in the fourth quarter. I said it yesterday. I think this is a 4-year project. Unless something just totally embarrassing happens off the field, I think this is a 4-year project, Bryan. And I know it doesn't look good now, but I just don't think – I know people are frustrated, but I just think they got to bite their lip, move on, and have faith that it's going to get better.
Barry, how in the heck is John Longsor making sense about Auburn football and being – how is this – what is going on in this world right now?
Bada get a ball over there.
What in the world? I tend to agree with that. It's really tough. When you're on the ground seeing this over and over again, right? It's very, very frustrating for everybody involved. Auburn fans, I know they feel that way, exasperated, right? Just throw your hands in the air. What's it going to take for us, to win a football game is the feeling over here. But I think there is some truth to that, John. But I do think, for Hugh Freeze and his staff, a reckoning is coming. I mean, they've taken a step back in year 2, unless something incredible happens. and they need to take a step forward, a fairly big step forward in year 3 for people to really believe in him and to really get this program going in the right direction.
I thought this was interesting. Talking about a step back. Last season, Auburn beat Arkansas, Vandy, Missouri on the road by a total of 90 points. This year, they lose to all 3 at home and only score 34. That's hard to digest.
Yeah, it really is. And the offense that was so bad last year under the coordinator that was let go is now worse this year, statistically in most areas. So, yeah, like I said, it's exasperating if you're an Auburn person. I completely and totally understand. But just I want to let everybody know I can't throw shoes at the coach during a press conference. Okay, I just that's out of bounds. I can't do those things. Right?
That's exactly right.
I just got to do my job and ask the relevant questions I think are relevant at the time.
Part of the job at auburnsports.com, covering men's basketball. Preview the matchup against Vermont tomorrow night at Neville Arena.
Bruce Pearl called Vermont very Yale-like, which ought to catch people's attention coming off end of last season.
Yeah.
And they played at UAB, I think, last night, and I believe they won a pretty tight, lowish scoring game. So I think they lived up to that moniker, so to speak. So this will be a test for Auburn, I feel like, because it's these type of teams that sometimes can frustrate a team like Auburn's that deep, athletic, wants to get out and run, wants to dunk, wants to fire up threes, doesn't want to defend, the half-court offense for 30-plus seconds or whatever. So this will be a really good opening test. And, of course, there's going to be another really, really big test with the Houston team on the weekend, who is a lot of people's early Final Four pick. So they're jumping right into the schedule right away. Vermont, a team that's better than people think it is, and then Houston, a team that's every bit as good as people think it is.
So let me ask you this. Usually I don't listen to a lot of post-game stuff unless LSU loses, and then I'll tune in WWL down in New Orleans and get a cocktail and sit out in my driveway and listen to it in the car.
Yeah.
So I got to listen to the brain. What is it called again? The
Brain Drain.
Brain Drain. Oh, John.
JG Tate does it throughout the game, and then, of course, it gets really lively after the game.
Oh, awesome.
On YouTube.
I got to check that out. Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. auburnsports.com. How do people check it out and everything you guys provide, Bryan?
Yeah.
You can check it out, Auburn Sports. And I want to mention real quickly, Monday Musings, which was about Boston this week, is sponsored by Uncle Keith's Red Sauce. Delicious. You can get it at Publix, Piggly Wiggly, Renfro's statewide. Order it online, BMAT15 for 15% off. This week we got basketball. We got a little bit of football. We got recruiting to watch. And then baseball starts its World Series, I think, tomorrow. It'll be player-led teams this week, and then they'll do it again with coach-led teams next week, or coach-picked teams, or drafted teams next week. So all that more at auburnsports.com.
So what was Boston's best song? More Than a Feeling?
Everybody says More Than a Feeling. I'm going Peace of Mind.
Peace of Mind, another great one. They really had a string of great songs there in the late 70s, and were a terrific band. I'm really surprised to learn that they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is shocking to me. Yeah. Yep.
God,
Brad Delp, lead singer, no longer with us. Good stuff. As always. Bryan, we appreciate it. Thanks a bunch.
Thanks for having us, guys. Talk to y'all next week.
Hey, you too, buddy. Thank you so much. Bryan Matthews, auburnsports.com, brought to you by our City of Montgomery guest hotline. Need to know what's going on in and around the capital city? It's very easy. Go to montgomeryal.gov. You'll see a calendar of events, everything else going on around town. Check it out, montgomeryal.gov. Interesting as always. Really enjoy Bryan coming on with us. We get a lot of great positive comments on that as well. It looks like, Barry, I'm going to have to expand my post-game listening and viewing options.
Well, if LSU loses on Saturday, just go all in to WWL. But when Auburn loses at home to Vanderbilt, they say there was some profanity on the Brain Drain, which you can do if you're not an FCC licensed medium.
Yeah.
But our guys on the chat line said it was epic. Bryan was not happy.
There is a post game. It's not on WWL. There's some LSU guys that do a post game at a bar, and I think the show's called Whiskey and Football or something. Somebody tipped me off to it. Woo!
Is that our guy T-Bob Haber?
It is 4-letter bomb after 4-letter bomb after a loss. It is rough.
Ooh, yeah.
They are laying it on the line if the Bengal Tigers pull the L.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's take a break.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. I know Carolyn Dobson has voted because her people have texted me and let me know that she has. She's doing some interview with some TV, and then she's going to hop on with us this morning. So we're looking forward to that. And then, of course, Travis Ryer on YouTube joins us at the top of the next hour.
Let's get out of the way, clear it out for Carolyn Dobson next with Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Hey, this is Barry McKnight from Longshore and McKnight, telling you about our friends at River Region Straw. You're not buying sticks or stems and pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River Region, full of color, that'll last all season long. They've got locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small. From a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load, River Region Straw also has seasoned firewood for the cold days and nights ahead. Pickup is available, and your order can be delivered if you like. They can even spread your pine straw if that's what you want to have happen, for sure. Call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw and firewood needs at River Region Straw.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra, 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speed associated with our installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Both locations offer fully stocked pro shops with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com.
All righty, welcome back in, everybody. A couple of minutes until the hour of 8 o'clock. Barry, Terrence has already dropped his Dreamland pick threes on us today.
I saw that. Man, why not?
Way to go, Terrence.
Why not? Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com. He likes Clemson to cover the 6.5 over Virginia Tech. Colorado to cover 3.5 over Texas Tech, who got a big win last week. And Detroit to cover the 3 against Houston. Houston's been a little bit of a disappointment. Detroit has been all that so far. I like 2 of them, Terrence. Good luck to you.
Man, Clemson coming off that loss last week. We talked to Lugs about it yesterday. Night game at Clemson. Man, they lose by double digits.
Yeah, the fans are throwing trash on the field. Lugs was getting a bit loose about that with us yesterday. That kind of stuff has got to stop. That happened in the Texas-Georgia game. South Carolina beats Texas A&M, and they stormed the field. For Texas A&M, the most overrated, what is it, John? The most over, if people are storming the field to beat Texas A&M, we've lost all perspective, man. Come on.
Yeah,
please.
Michigan State, Barry, and Texas A&M, the 2 most overrated college football programs that I can think of. They got a big fan base. They talk
$1 billion,
game, but they can't deliver. Just can't deliver. I will give Michigan State. They did make the college football play. Did they? Whew,
they showed up. Well, I was about to say they showed up. They didn't even do that, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So, yeah, ooh, that's a tough. But hey, Terrence,
You got to
way
be
get that pick in early.
You got to be. I mean, the Alabama fans are mad at Michigan State because they aced them out of a natty. It would have been their third in a row in 1966. Auburn fans are mad at Michigan State because it gave them Peyton Thorne. So they're not exactly popular these days. Michigan
Not
State.
at all.
Yeah.
I know we're kind of in a holding pattern here, so I guess we can spin the
Let's
wheel.
spin the wheel.
Let's do it.
Where's the
People on the
wheel
chat
spinning?
line say, spin that wheel. Let's see what's going on. So let's spin it here on this Tuesday.
While we
what
have a
comes up
chance.
next? The Power T. So I think you know what I'm talking about. The Troy Trojans off this week, I believe.
Yep.
After a victory against Coastal Carolina. Bear, did those two teams meet in a Sun Belt Conference championship game a couple of years ago?
Yep, 2 years ago, Troy won against Coastal Carolina at the Vet for their first championship under John Sumrall. Had not played since, didn't play last year and played this year. And Troy won it handily. They had two guys rush for over 100 yards. Damian Taylor rushed for almost 200. And he's the Sun Belt Conference Offensive Player of the Week. DeMarcus Ware, the Hall of Famer, the Troy grad, he came down. John, he outfitted the whole football team in suits. It's the same manufacturer that makes the NFL Hall of Fame or the Pro Football Hall of Fame yellow jacket.
Yes.
And he was a partner with them. And, I was down there. I snuck a peek for a little bit. They were, taking their shoulder measurements and their inseams, and all of that. And they were at Trojan Walk and they came through and they're all styling in their new suits and everything.
Man, that is
you look
awesome.
good. You look good. You feel good. And the uniforms themselves were some of my favorites. White hats, script Troy down the side. It was sweet. I'm a big fan of the Power T, which is their normal brand. But I've got a couple of shirts, a little bit of gear with the script Troy across the front. Troy, one of the few schools that is just 4 letters. It's like Duke or Utah or something like that, where it's not Louisiana Lafayette or Southwest Missouri State or something.
Like
it's just Troy. So you got just a little script there. I like that.
So man, that is awesome. Because you're thinking, former players that have done well and had a great career in the NFL. I mean, it's nice to hear and see that they've given back to their university where they kind of got it all started and helping out these young men. And you're thinking of something different, something unique. I mean, everybody needs a suit. It's not something you go out and buy every day. You're thinking, I'll put that off. I'll do that later. It's kind of like a golf umbrella. You need it, but you don't ever go buy one.
Yeah, but unlike a golf umbrella, you don't normally lose 3 suits a year like I do.
But that is a great that gesture. And some of these young men, they're probably might be their first suit. Who knows? And get a tailor in there to measure them up, and it feels and looks good. That is awesome. So I guess when they travel, they'll wear these suits as well.
Well, there's a lot. This is once again tied into one of our favorite subjects. This is also one of those NIL things. Obviously, it's a benefit to the student athlete to get that. But if you have NIL responsibilities, social media, this and that, you can wear that and all of that stuff as well. Speaking of that, it was a reunion of the 1999 Southland Football League championship team. Multiple-time Pro Bowler, multiple Super Bowl winner. Osi Umenyiora was there. He was the honorary captain. He was out there for the coin toss and all that. So it was a great weekend for the Trojans with DeMarcus involved and Osi involved and a big win. And hopefully that's a start of a hot streak coming up for Jared Parker and the Troy Trojans.
Let's hope so. And Gurn, you can just keep the that on the wheel every day because our good friends at Troy Athletics, a big sponsor of this program, will be highlighting Troy Athletics each and every day. So I got to come up with a lot of unique ways to describe Troy. I thought about that one, but I'm thinking, I got to come up with some other ones. We want to use different ones if we can.
Well, you got plenty, believe me.
They boy, you better believe that. They certainly do. So that's great. That's awesome stuff. Glad to hear that. Now, Danny, look, the Dreamland Pick 3 gift card is in the mail. it's up to the United States Postal Service at this point. I just put it in the mailbox, however long it takes to get to Margaritaville.
Yeah.
That is not.
Do they still have
deal.
RFD? Was it like Danny, in care of, the Foley post office, or, does he have somebody that he gets his mail from? He checks every couple of weeks
the
or something.
envelope out, Barry, and I filled it out with Danny's real name, and then I kind of chuckled to myself, and I tore the envelope up, and I went, nah. Then I rewrote it. Danny from Margaritaville.
It'll get there. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it got there if that's all you wrote on it. It's like Santa Claus coming up next month, I mean, it'll get Santa Claus North Pole. It'll get somewhere. You write Danny from Margaritaville, put a stamp on it, I guarantee you it gets there,
Yeah, exactly. All right, we are, I believe, about to be joined by Carolyn Dobson. We're going to ask Travis to give us a couple of minutes here. I think she is wrapped up and her people are getting things lined up, ready to go. I think Gurn's working feverishly at network control up in Nashville. So we're looking forward to that. And you got to go. Hey, my wife has voted. She's already come home and straightened up a little bit and left. She said there are a lot of people at the polls.
I was going to ask you that. For people who are out there, if you guys are on our live chat, on our comment section, brought to you by River Region Straw, and you've already voted, tell us how it's moving along, because I'm voting at lunch today, my wife and I, at our polling place, which is a big sports building, and I anticipate it being pretty big, so at least it needs to be, for sure. So I'm glad to know that. Check in with us and let us know how it was at your polling place this morning, and make sure you do it. Make sure you vote. Okay.
Yeah, please do. Well, we certainly want you to. There again, now this doesn't happen all the time, and we want you to
for a lot of countries out there. It doesn't happen at all, John. So, we are extraordinarily blessed in this country to be able to have a voice in our leadership. So, it's important. It's an imperative.
It certainly is. And I'm going to try to go before lunch. That's kind of my deal. Usually I've noticed in the past that it is a little slower, a little lighter than, I don't know, who knows, but
John's lunch during fall is Joel Klatt time. So, if he can go
Wednesdays.
before lunch.
That's on Wednesdays.
Oh, okay. All right.
He jumps on Wednesdays with Cowherd. I like to just kind of see what he has to say. So anyway, we're trying to get this going here. Eventually, I'm sure it will pop on, but I tell you what, let's bring Travis Ryer on YouTube, of course, talking Tide with Travis. He is he is mobile today. Travis, man, how you doing this morning?
Well, as you can see right here, guys, I did indeed vote first thing this AM, and it wasn't a difficult choice because, as you can see over my other shoulder here, I went with Waffle House.
Waffle House, I like it.
A unifying candidate, if there ever was one. The good old yellow and black.
Yeah, no matter what, no matter who you vote for and everything,
we can all
Waffle
come
House.
together on.
Yes.
Yes.
Universal.
Now, does that hat say Longshore or no?
No, it almost does. It almost does. It's Lakeshore. It's the area of Jacksonville I grew up in. So it's kind of a homage to Lakeshore, especially the ballpark there. A little trivia for you about Lakeshore that you didn't ask for, but you're going to get.
We love it.
Ronnie Van Zant, the late great Ronnie Van Zant. That's where he played youth baseball, was at Lakeshore Ballpark. And also Tim Tebow played Pop Warner football at LSAA. So there you go.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Was Leonard Skinner? Was he a physical education teacher in?
He was. Both my parents went to high school with Ronnie Van Zant.
I'm telling you,
there during his cameo. And so, Leonard was notorious for his actions as a coach, and then later became a sort of insurance salesman of note in the Jacksonville area. There you go. Just more.
I'm telling you.
Great. Yeah. I'm thinking about doing like a Leonard Skinner tour in Jacksonville where I load people up. I take them to the Jug. No, I'll take you to the Jug. If you ever come to Jacksonville and you want to go to, I was cutting a rug at a place called the Jug. I'll
Yes.
take you there if you want to go. I don't know
love
if you'll want to go, but I'll take you there.
Yeah, he's not going to stop, but you
Right.
can ride by, you know.
Yeah, there it
Oh.
is. Right there. There it is.
I love it. All right, so how big of a Waffle House aficionado are you, Travis?
Pretty big. Pretty big. I mean, there was a
Nice.
time in my life where it was the 3 a.m. stop.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, that
Oh,
and
yeah.
Crystal. Crystal or Waffle House was the go-to at 3 a.m. And then, but then there's also been times I'll eat dinner at a Waffle House.
I will too.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll eat the
wife and I
marinated
love
chicken
it.
breast. That chicken
Oh,
breast
sure.
never has gotten its due at Waffle House.
I'm
I've
with you.
never tried it. That may be the only thing
Yeah.
I've never tried at Waffle House.
They used to marinate it in something, and I'd go to
I'd
dinner.
have to know.
Yeah.
So Travis, are you familiar with Burt's Chili?
Oh, the oldest daughter, Savannah, loves Burt's Chili. Like when she was at Hawaii playing hoops
Yeah.
or even out west or whatever, anytime she came with a team this far back, she
Yeah.
would go to Waffle House and make them try the Burt's Chili.
Now,
I have met Burt of Burt's
really?
Chili. I have met the guy. Yes.
how many
Damn.
times has he said this on this program? This is a brush with greatness.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
You
Yeah.
and Bert are boys.
We're
How about that?
buddies.
Exactly
You better
right.
believe it. No
All right,
doubt.
so let's get talking a little bit tonight. The first college football playoff reveal. Alabama's, for what it's worth, Alabama's in, right?
Right now, yeah, I would think so. They got some help over the weekend too, right? Clemson
Yeah.
at home. I guess we can go back to that at this point.
Sure.
A&M losing. I mean, there were some things that worked in Alabama's favor, but as we know, even with all that, it's largely going to come down to, in all likelihood, Saturday night in Baton Rouge. But for the here and now, yeah, for sure, Barry.
Yeah, I think they're in. I think, but there again, Baton Rouge is, as we've heard it, it's the elimination game. The loser is out, but the boys in Vegas say Alabama's the favorite. They're a 3-point favorite on the road against this LSU team.
A lot of good history for Alabama, obviously, in Baton Rouge. Not so much the last time down there, but also in terms of how Alabama matches up in this game. I think a lot of people, maybe even our friends in Vegas, are taking into account that second half performance by the A&M offense against that LSU defense. And then, what we saw from Alabama's offense a year ago in that matchup. And so I think that has to do a lot with it. But I think there's other sides too, where you can look at LSU and say, if Garrett Nussmeier gets time and they can mix in enough of a run game, the potential's there. I don't know what the total is on this game, but I think the potential's there to get into the mid to upper 60s for both these teams.
Can you characterize your perception of how important this game is, not necessarily just for LSU's playoff chances, but for Brian Kelly?
It's got to be huge. I mean, the win 2 years ago kind of covered some issues they had in his start at LSU. The win over Saban has always been sort of the get right for coaches or programs, and it was for him a couple of years ago. And now, a couple of years removed from that, still kind of an average situation in Baton Rouge. Had a real opportunity a couple of weeks ago at A&M to cement themselves as a very probable, college football playoff candidate, regardless of what would have happened this Saturday night. But now it seems to be more week to week. I don't get the sense he's in peril in any kind of way down there. But another loss, a third loss, as you move into mid-November, I'm sure ain't going to sit right with that fan base if it comes down like that.
Whew, yeah, they lose Saturday night. That post-game show is going to be must listen to radio.
Oof. Yeah. Just make sure you have a translator,
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, Travis, just FYI, the total right now is 58.5.
Boy, it'd be hard not to mash that over. Yeah, that would be tempting. But I've parted ways with my degenerate ways years ago, so I'm not. I'm not telling anybody anything to do here.
Yeah, well, he hadn't parted from all of his degenerate ways if he's just getting out of Waffle House. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
The Waffle House parking lot. Yeah.
Let me ask you about this.
Did you run into Gus Malzahn while you were there?
No, I'm not that far south. But
No.
Gus may be relocating himself, so who knows? I could see him in Jacksonville at some point.
Let's talk a little bit about personnel here. There's a linebacker that I had not heard of before he started playing well. Q Robinson, defensively for Alabama. Surprising to you, the production he's had so far?
I'm happy for him because he's the consummate wait his turn guy. And they've had some good ones. I mean, he's been behind Will Anderson. He's been behind Dallas Turner. He's been behind Chris Braswell. Those are all NFL guys, as we know. So good for Q. He's been a really important special teams player over his career, but certainly much more of a factor. Quay Rusal has been nicked up a little bit this season, so I think that's led to Q maybe even playing more than anticipated. The thing with Q is he's going to get after the quarterback, and that's going to be big this week. You got some offensive tackles we know for LSU that are very good. So edge pass rush is not going to be easy. Pass rush of any kind is going to be a big storyline for Alabama in this game. Yeah. Because if they don't get more of it against Garrett Nussmeier and these receivers, again, LSU's capable of putting up yards and numbers on Saturday night. So Q needs to be big once again this week, and really all those edge guys, whether you're talking about Quay or maybe even Keanu Coote, they like to use Jihad Campbell in different ways. He'll be a big part of this thing Saturday night, whether it's early downs at the inside position or off the edge in some situations. So yeah, they need all those guys to get it done.
What about the way things kind of played out? Were you surprised South Carolina beat Texas A&M?
I was surprised that they ran for nearly 300 yards, but I think it also underscores again how different it is when a team has a guy at quarterback that can hurt you with the design runs. We saw it in the first half of A&M LSU versus the second half of A&M LSU. Connor Weigman can deal it just like Garrett Nussmeier can, but you didn't have to account for him as a runner. Marcel Reed jumps in there, game flips on LSU. And so I think A&M got a taste of its own medicine with Lenoris Sellers and Rocket Sanders, that combination. So that surprised me. A&M loves to get you in a situation with a non-dual threat type of quarterback where Elko can dial up the pressures and really get after the quarterback. You couldn't really do that with Sellers, and you can't really do it with a guy like Jalen Milroe or Marcel Reed. So, yeah, I was surprised more so in how easily it seems South Carolina was able to take apart A&M defensively. I thought South Carolina's defense would hang in there because South Carolina has sort of an under-the-radar front seven. It's more than just those two edge guys. They're very good, but that's a physical, really good front seven for South Carolina.
You mentioned the matchup when Marcel Reed was in there. LSU had no answer defensively. With that in mind, I'm going to jump the route on one of John's questions of the week. Does Jalen Milroe look healthy to you?
He hasn't looked as dynamic. I'll put it that way. Whether that's physically, whether that's maybe confidence issues, I don't entirely know. But I think as much as anyone with Alabama on that football team, this bye week may have come at the perfect time for him because he looked like in some ways he was in need of a reset and reinvigorate perhaps. So I think that's going to be something to really keep an eye on from the outset of Saturday night's game. First, starting with the usage of Jalen Milroe. How aggressive, how involved is he from a play calling standpoint on the script? First 15, 20 plays. Does Nick Sheridan, Kalen DeBoer really look to get him going in the run game? If that's the case, I think that's a good sign for Alabama. If it's more of have him stand in the pocket and try to deliver, even against an LSU defense that certainly isn't up to the standard of, say, Tennessee this season, I don't think that's the ideal scenario.
Yeah, I'm with you, Travis. I think the off week came at a fantastic time. I think there needs to be a little reset, just kind of decompress a little bit, refocus on the remainder of this season, get healed up. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. I don't think Milroe looks 100%, doesn't look as explosive. So hopefully they've gotten all that squared away, taken care of, because there again, Saturday night, Monday morning is going to be very interesting from a discussion standpoint, win or lose for the Alabama fan base.
Oh, no doubt about that. Because there is the potential for a third loss before you even get to, mid-November, something that we just haven't seen in about 20 years from Alabama football. The 2010 team lost 3 in the regular season, but the third was the Iron Bowl, the comeback game. So to have your third loss at this point in the season is just foreign to Alabama fans. Now, win the game, then everybody's talking about, wow, are we going to get a home game in the college football playoff? Are we going to be on the road? But you still have the trip to Norman down the road a little bit, and maybe Oklahoma's going to get it right, or at least semi-right, with kind of committing to Jackson Arnold again at quarterback. Defensively, Oklahoma can still make things difficult on you. So even if Alabama wins Saturday night, there's still going to be some hurdles left.
Yeah.
Boy, I agree for sure. It'll be interesting to see what transpires tonight on the selection show and all that, but doesn't mean a thing, especially when compared to Saturday as well. Travis, how do people get all of the output that you've got? You are prolific in what you put out there. What are the best ways for people to be able to consume your content?
I'm on Twitter /X at Travis Ryer, TravisReier. Also on YouTube with the Ryer on YouTube channel. We had second helping yesterday with my pal Brent Beard, where we went around the Southeastern Conference. Have Chase Goodbread on Talking Tide coming up here in the next day or so. A little bit of NFL stuff as well. So kind of go around the board there at Ryer on YouTube, right there on YouTube.
Yep, it is great.
Got to ask you with this one thing. Well, if you'll oblige me here with your second helping, you talk about those guys you work with, all well respected in the business, as are you. Tom Luganbill said this to us yesterday. He says he doesn't think people really appreciate what a good coaching job is being done by Billy Napier with just a ton of bad luck. Do you see that?
He has been snake bit. It feels a little Shula-ish in some ways, Napier at Florida, even the persona and even, just the guy that he is. You want Billy Napier to win games. I can't listen to the guy and not kind of pull for him.
Right.
I think there's certainly been that element. I mean, just look at DJ Lagway here most recently for more on that. And that was already a shorthanded Florida team, as we know, going into that game. And to get that kind of effort out of his team, even after the Lagway injury, I think it does speak positively of Billy Napier. It's going to be fascinating. I felt like really even when Mertz got hurt against Miami, that the sustainability of Billy Napier beyond this season was going to rest almost entirely with DJ Lagway. So now the narrative becomes, well, he was in a good spot with Lagway in the game against Georgia, and they were playing better as a team going into that Georgia game. The feeling I get from the Florida people I hear from and know is that right now, even at 5-7, there's a good chance Billy Napier will be back in 2025. And I never would have imagined that before the season.
I agree.
Yeah, boy, no kidding. Travis, did want to ask you this. We know the Mark Sears of the world, but was there a player on the floor last night that other than Mark Sears really impressed you?
I mean, LeBaron Philon comes to mind pretty quickly.
Yeah.
This guy is a true freshman. I understand Reitzel's been dealing with some injury issues, and but to see him impact this team already the way that he has, he's just really, really fun to watch. He's perfect in that system, and with those pieces around him, he would be the first guy I would look at. I like watching Mo Diabate play too. I know he's kind of a glue guy, a guy off the bench, but seems to bring something each and every night out there. And Mark's Mark. I mean, you can kind of count on 20 from him.
Yeah.
I mean,
he'll find a way.
Alabama's up 20-0 in just about every game because Mark Sears is getting his 20, and I think last night the thing that really stood out was Alabama scored 110 and 56 of that came from its starters. So the depth, when you're bringing Grant Nelson and Latrell Wrightsell off the bench for now anyway, and it kind of tells you Houston Mallette deciding to redshirt. I mean, this is a deep, deep, deep lineup.
Always good stuff, Travis. Very
Mhm.
valuable. Appreciate the time. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
All right, buddy. Enjoy the Waffle House. Travis Ryer on YouTube, Talking Tide. So many great ways to find Travis and his content. They do a great job. All right, Barry, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to try to get Carolyn Dobson hooked up one way. We've got another idea we're going to try as well, but we're going to get something going with her. And then also later on, Ellis Terry, he's the president of Yellowhammer News. We mentioned it. We announced it last Friday. Longshore and McKnight now associated, partnering up with Yellowhammer News. And, man, there's a lot of great content there, from news to politics to lifestyle to sports. Ellis is going to tell us all about it and going to talk about our association with them and theirs with us. We'll do that later in the hour as well. But I think we need to take a timeout about right now.
He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Shopping for a budget-friendly, reliable used car or a stunning new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram in Prattville is a process that should always start with your team of professionals on your side. Thanks to years of experience helping others in the local community enjoy premium service, low prices, and access to a wealth of amazing new and used cars, it is safe to say that Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is the name to beat in Prattville. But don't just take my word for it. Experience the Stivers difference for yourself. Prices that will not be beat, a huge inventory, and knowledgeable, helpful sales associates. See why so many happy car and truck buyers shop at Stivers CDJR, where Price sells cars and trucks. Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville.
Oh, there she is. All right.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2024, Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
Okay, we're back at it here, about 22 minutes past the hour on this Tuesday. It is election day. Get out and vote. And Barry, our next guest, well, she's already voted. She is getting out and about, and she has been out and about for many, many months now. Carolyn Dobson is joining us here on the program. And Carolyn, I know it's been an incredible whirlwind couple of months for you, and it all boils down to today.
That's right. That's right. I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to have met so many wonderful people here in Alabama. We do have the best folks, and we've got incredible opportunities. We just need policies from our federal government that allow our economy to flourish, that secure our border and keep our communities safe, and equip our young people with the skills that they need to succeed.
Carolyn, of course, is running for the seat in Alabama's 2nd Congressional District on the Republican side. It's a wonderful story of America, if you ask me. I mean, you are Harvard grad, Baylor Law grad. You got a wonderful family. You've got fulfilling work that you do. So why run? What was the genesis of all this for you?
Well, I'm so grateful to have grown up in Alabama, grew up in Monroe County, a tiny town called Beatrice. And when it came time for me and my husband to start our family, I knew there was nowhere else I wanted to raise my kids than in South Alabama. And I wanted to find a way to give back to a place that's given so much to me. And being back in Alabama for the past almost 6 years, I do see we have so much opportunity, but we do need someone who's going to represent not just the cities in this district, but so many small towns and rural communities that are underrepresented, frankly, on both sides of the aisle in DC. Because bad policies can hurt a city, but they can really kill a small town. And so I think we certainly need attention given to the rural communities, to the small towns that really make up the backbone of not only our economy, but who we are as a state and a country. So I'm so grateful to be in South Alabama, where the values of hard work and humility and community are just kind of woven into the fabric of who we are. And I wanted to do what I could to help make life better for Alabama families.
Carolyn, when you were out on the campaign trail, what was the most important issue to the voters? When you were out talking to people, what did they talk most about?
Oh, the economy, first and foremost. We are all struggling under the economic policies of the past almost 4 years now. This administration, of which my opponent was part, has not only crushed opportunity, but has resulted in a stranglehold on American energy, has caused skyrocketing inflation, and that's all reflected in the prices that you and I pay at the grocery store, how much it costs to fill up your tank of gas. And it's not just hard for a lot of Alabama families. It's getting to a point where it's almost impossible. About 45% of Alabama families in a recent poll said they struggle to pay week-to-week bills. So we have got to have some relief when it comes to lowering inflation, lowering interest rates, being energy independent again, and getting our economy back on track. A related issue, of course, is the rising crime that we see, which, again, I think anytime you have a lack of opportunity, you're going to see a rise in crime. So we have got to do a better job of treating criminals like criminals, treating our law enforcement like heroes, and also providing young people with a path to success in their communities.
And how has the reception to your message been on the campaign trail?
I am so grateful getting into this race. I've never been in politics before. I would describe myself as a more reserved type person. I love people, but I'm not an in-your-face type person. And I've been so pleasantly surprised by the hospitality and graciousness of Alabamians across the board. Whether they're Democrats or Republicans, whether they like politics or don't like politics. I've been so grateful that folks have listened to me and let me listen to them, more importantly, because again, I think there are too many folks that for too long have felt unheard. So it's been my mission to leave no corner of the district unvisited and just to hear from people throughout this district.
Carolyn Dobson has already cast her ballot. A lot of our viewers and listeners have not. What is your message to those?
Look, I'm in this race not because it's part of my career path, not because I'm a Washington insider. I'm a working parent here in South Alabama, like many of you, but I do want life to be better for every single family in this district. I'm running to lower the cost of what it takes to put food on your table, to put gas in your car. I'm running to make sure that your kids can play safely on your streets. And I'm running to once again make the American dream possible, to equip our young people with the skills and the tools that they need to succeed here in Alabama.
Carolyn, good luck. Thank you
you
so much for joining us here today. I know you want to encourage everybody to get out and vote. I know from what I understand, people are already out there voting, but hey, make sure your vote counts today.
That's right. This race, every vote will count. So I humbly ask for your vote. Please encourage your friends and family to get out and vote. This district is a very competitive district. It's not just the future of South Alabama. It could determine control of the U.S. House of Representatives and whether or not we get our country back on track. So please get out and vote, and text 10, 20 friends and encourage them to do so too.
It's wonderful on a busy day like this that you spend some time with us. Thank you so much for your time.
Privilege. Thank
Very
you.
gracious of you. Thanks very much.
Likewise. Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Wow. Carolyn Dobson, you got to know she's busy. He's been busy for many months getting ready for today. So thanks to her for spending a little time with us.
Yep. If you want to know a little bit more about the issues that she's passionate about, you can just go to the website at dobsonforcongress.com. But again, it's an incredibly busy day, an incredibly important day for everybody, and for her to, have the grace to spend some time with us to talk directly to constituents is much appreciated. That was good. Thank you.
Yeah. It really is. Really appreciate that. Well, Barry, we're just going to go from one guest right into another. Let's don't wait around any longer. Our friend Ellis Terry is joining us today. He is the president of Yellowhammer News, and we touched on it last Friday, our partnership and association with these great folks. We're very excited about it. And Ellis is here to, tell us a little bit more about what Yellowhammer is all about. And, hey, Ellis, good morning. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. How are y'all doing this morning?
Doing really well. I got to tell you, we're excited beyond words about our new association with Yellowhammer News. This is going to be a wonderful partnership, Ellis.
Well, and we are as well. I mean, y'all, growing up in Montgomery in the River region, I mean, y'all have been the sports a go-to for a long 30 plus years, and we are just honored to have y'all on our network and this partnership. And I think that it makes a lot of sense, and we're just thrilled to have y'all. But as far as y'all's background and resume speaks for itself. And I think that with Yellowhammer and this digital outlet and the whole YHN media group that we're looking for growth, and I think that this kind of partnership makes a lot of sense. And so as far as Yellowhammer News, I mean, we're now reaching 7.6 million people a year, which is awesome. We have over 143,000 social media followers across the Southeast, and so to bring on talent like yourself, we're thrilled and fired up about it.
Well, we are too, and those numbers, they're very impressive. No doubt, people have found Yellowhammer News. They trust it. It's their go-to. Ellis, tell us how this was created. Where did this start?
So Yellowhammer News was was started about a dozen years ago, and there have been multiple owners throughout the process who've laid an incredible foundation for where we are now. There was new ownership taken over at the end, about August of last year. So we've just been in business under new ownership for just over a year. And we have seen, we've implemented different growth strategies and working on content and expanding on content that has and numbers have spoke for themselves, that we've seen a lot of growth, and Alabamians are very receptive to it. And so, YHN Media Group as a whole, Yellowhammer News is definitely our anchor. It is the senior platform there. We have a few other platforms, obviously our newest with Longshore McKnight. And then we have Lake Martin Life, which is an outlet that highlights the growth and the beauty and the asset that Lake Martin is to our state. We have Soul Grown, which is more of a cultural outlet, really showcases the beauty and people of our state, the craft workers, the food, the music, the art, that outlet, and then an outdoor lifestyle. We have 256 Today, which is a North Alabama outlet that highlights the growth and success that we're seeing in North Alabama. And then we have a radio network and podcast network as well. So we're expanding. We have a lot of different media groups that under that umbrella that really complement each other. And we're just so thrilled that you're a part of it.
It seems as though because of this medium and because of what you're able to do, obviously Yellowhammer News can cast a wide net about everything that's going on in the state and how it impacts all of Alabama. But I love the idea of regionalizing it as well. Not just the broad cross-section of Alabamians, but you are able to get into the local communities and represent them and give them the content that resonates with the local people as well. I think that's a fabulous outreach, Ellis.
Well, thank you. And we feel the same. I mean, I think that it is important, there's obviously the, and we're all digital. I think back in the day, your newspaper was there, but I think now it's important to showcase, and let people know about within their community, but also statewide, and what a great state we have, and the great things going on in the state, from sports to, feel good emotional stories to politics, you name it. So I do think that we have that reach, and that's what we're trying to, thankful for all the Alabamians that do follow us and depend on us for news, but want to continue to grow that and continue to gain people's trust.
Ellis, I'm just so impressed with how many stories, how much content is there at Yellowhammer News. I mean, you guys have got a lot of stories, information, news, sports, lifestyle. I mean, it's just not, we'll throw 4 or 5 up there today. I mean, you guys, it's chock full of information.
Well, thank you. I mean, that goes to just our credit to our incredible team. And I think that, we just have an unbelievable group of individuals who really work together. And that's our goal, to push it out there and continue to do so. So, I think that credit goes to our team and the talent that we have there. Very thankful for them.
Well, we're thankful for the opportunity to be associated with this outreach, yellowhammernews.com, and so much more than just that. John, this is going to be mutually beneficial, to say the very least.
No doubt about it. So, Ellis, for our viewers and our listeners, tell them how, they can follow us through Yellowhammer News and vice versa, and your readers and listeners and viewers can do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. So on a weekly basis, we're obviously tuning into y'all every morning, and show, there'll be links and articles based off of conversations and interviews and things that go on the Longshore McKnight show. But then we'll have writers and contributors and contacts through Yellowhammer come on the show as well. And so I think that from a social media standpoint, from a digital media standpoint, I think that showcasing that on all of our outlets and leading everyone to what a great, sports-based podcast within the River region is huge. And again, y'all's resume speaks for itself, and y'all have so many followers, and everyone thinks so highly of you from a personal level, but also your knowledge and sports content as well. So I think that all of those outlets are going to be intertwined, and it's going to be easy to access both groups from multiple different facets.
Outstanding. Cannot wait. Glad to have this off the ground. Always have heard wonderful things and have always read great content from Yellowhammer News. Ellis, this is going to be wonderful. Thank you so much for your belief in us as well. It means a great deal to us on a personal and professional level as well.
Well, we're thrilled, and I want to thank you guys for having me on. It's pretty neat to be on the show, and look.
So let me ask you this: as a youngster, when you were going to school in the morning, did your dad have us on, and you were listening to us as you made your
100%? 100%. It was, and then you'd see, I'd see Mr. John out, and Dad, that's Mr. Longshore. But it's absolutely. I have memories of riding to school, listening to you guys, and really, really cool to see this partnership.
There you go. I love it. I love it. Ellis, thanks so much. We appreciate it. More than we can tell you. Thank you.
No doubt. Thank you, buddy. Man, that's awesome. Ellis Terry, President, Yellowhammer News.
I feel 105 years old now.
Yeah, I do too. Gosh. But man, there were a lot of young men Ellis's age that's how they grew up. They
grew up with us.
On the radio back when we were on the radio side, and they would listen every day. And
that's awesome.
Some of them were late to school on Fridays during football season because they had to hear what the Phantom had to say.
There you go. Well, busy segment there. Carolyn Dobson running for the U.S. congressional seat in the 2nd District. Also, Ellis Terry from Yellowhammer News. So proud to be associated with that, John. Let me underline that and highlight that. So proud to be a part of Yellowhammer News and all the great work and great history those guys have had. Let's take a break. It's Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2024, Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market offers the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of Mexico with deliveries daily. Snapper, grouper, pompano, flounder, copia, along with medium, large, and jumbo shrimp, hand-picked crab meat, and chucked oysters. They can even cook your order for easy, quick pickup. The Destin Connection can make a po' boy with any of their seafood items that folks in New Orleans rave about. Go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call 288-4272 for pickup orders.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond at Riverbank and Trust. Locations throughout the river region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. River Bank and Trust. All right, welcome back in, everybody. About 19 minutes to the top of the hour. Yeah, you're right, Barry. A lot of guests today on the program. We really appreciate that. Barry, another special guest tomorrow. I know you love when we have Kate Seal-Smith on because there's a big presentation coming up this weekend in Montgomery, and she's going to tell us all about that tomorrow on the program.
Yeah, it's from the Alabama Dance Theater, which is a wonderful thing. Golly, I love the productions and everything, and the legacy in Montgomery of that entity has been really, really good. I'm looking forward to that.
Sure, my wife's actually going tomorrow night to a little preview of the presentation this year, so we'll know all about that.
What are you doing? Are you? Is she going solo?
She didn't invite me.
One of those.
Yeah, it must be girls' night out or something. Who knows? Wait a minute, Theotis. Am I understanding that you're day trading and you're not tipping Barry and I off on who the hot picks are for the day? Come on, Theotis. I thought we were friends.
We've known each other for years now. Day trading. Just a little something. Hey, John and Barry, Amalgamated Widgets.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Something.
Blue Star Airlines.
Well, hey, how about the topic wheel? We have been busy with Bryan Matthews and Carolyn, Dobson and Travis Ryer and Ellis Terry. Now let's hit some sports topics here.
Let's do it. Got 3 more on the wheel, I see. Let's go ahead and spin that bad boy.
Brought to you by Victoryland.
That's right. Exactly. Hey, Victoryland reminds you to go vote today, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Just inks into the 8th category. Can you imagine what this topic's about?
The New Orleans Saints, in a surprise to absolutely nobody, has parted ways with now former head coach Dennis Allen, who is on a 7-game losing streak, or was.
That's right.
And they fired him yesterday. I kid you not, John, because I looked this up. I actually went to 2 or 3 different sources.
Okay.
Dennis Allen, who was the coach of the Raiders before for a little while. Dennis Allen, he's probably done. His career as an NFL head coach is over. His NFL record, I triple checked it, 26-53. 26 and 53.
Those are
John,
Gene Chizik numbers.
In other words, he could have gone 27 and 0. The Chiefs, by the way, they won last night. They're on a 14-game winning streak dating back to last year.
Yep.
Dennis Allen could be on a 27-game winning streak, and he would still just be a 500 coach. 27 games under 500.
Yeah, here's the deal. I don't know why they hired the guy. He was there, and when Sean Payton left, I guess they just promoted from within. Who knows? I guess.
He's hanging around, that guy. He's pretty nice. Everybody likes him. He once paid for my lunch in the lunchroom or something like that.
Sure. So it seems like a lazy pick to me, so maybe they got to get with it. But here's the deal. You're just going to have to face the harsh reality, and I have. The Saints have an old roster. The Saints have got a lot they got a lot of salary issues. I don't know how they're going to get it all worked out. They just signed Alvin Kamara to a big deal, which they needed to kind of tie him up. But they got some old players. So I think in the Saints, the way they're playing, they're certainly in the line for a top 5 draft pick. Could be the number 1. The way if you lose to Carolina, you might end up getting the number 1 pick. But the harsh reality is, Saints fans, this is going to be a 2, maybe 3-year rebuilding project.
And getting that top draft pick, getting it right is huge. But John, getting the coach is huge. This Darren Rizzi guy, I don't know if he does have a lot of Riz, but he ain't a long-term solution. Yeah.
Got to do better than that.
It's interesting because they host Atlanta this weekend down at the Dome. There's terrible weather. LSU at home against Alabama this weekend, about an hour away. I've got to be in New Orleans this weekend as well for Troy basketball. Atlanta, there's terrible weather going. You've got 3 in a row at home, sandwiched around a bye at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to luck up and beat Atlanta, beat Cleveland, beat the Rams, and all of a sudden everybody say, this Darren Rizzi guy's great.
Yeah, and that happens sometimes.
No.
It's kind of like Jameis Winston coming in for the Browns and they beat the Ravens. Oh, we got to start this guy. No. Don't let 1 or 2 games fool you. This is going to be a rebuild. Got to be, but you got to get the right coach in that's going to be patient in this rebuild. Don't look for any Monday night games. Don't look for any 3:15 Sunday afternoon games. This team's got Sunday at 12 o'clock written all over it for the next couple of seasons. But you got to be patient. I understand Mickey Loomis is not going anywhere. He's the kind of the guy that got Sean Payton and Drew Brees together and all that type stuff, but he's got to get to work.
All right, let me ask you this then, and this is just spitballing. Top of my head.
Okay.
They tank it the rest of the way. And again, they've lost 7 in a row. They're already tanking. Mm-hmm. They tank it the rest of the way. They're looking for a head coach. They're looking for a first-round draft pick, hopefully a quarterback. I got one name for you here.
Okay.
Sanders. Get them both. Little, 2 for maybe Dion will cut you a break if you draft his son at quarterback. Dion running the Saints, Shador Sanders quarterbacking the Saints. Anybody feeling me there?
Let me
Noodle.
Let me hit the rewind button. If they hired Dion and got Dion's son to come, they would be on Monday night multiple times. They'd be on Sunday night. Doesn't matter if they were 2-16. Won't matter.
They still ain't winning, but they'll at least have some juice to
Dion will get them on Monday Night Football and Sunday night.
They're crazy enough to do it.
They are crazy enough to do it, but I don't know if that's to me is a quick fix. I think they need a long-term fix, but I don't know if I would be adamantly opposed to that. I got to think a little bit more on that one. That's very interesting. Very interesting.
Just, I mean, captivate the town. Dion
Now,
and
we'll
Shador
say this,
doing
Barry.
Kentucky Fried KFC commercials left and right. Maybe some tiki.
Popeye's chicken down there.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Didn't I see them do a KFC? Maybe a little takey outy, maybe, something like that. Who knows?
I could do that.
I'm being visionary here.
Even though it's a rebuild, I'm still not opposed to going down to a game. Hint, hint. Okay. Couple of more topics on the wheel I see here. Our
do we have another break? I think we're caught up.
Gern will let us know.
Yeah.
Okay. Spin the wheel, Gern. See what we got.
Here we go. Oh, this could be anything. Harsh reality. John, one of John's favorite phrases, harsh reality.
Oh, but it's going to land on Monday Night Football in Kansas City. They are. And I got to tell you, Baker Mayfield's kind of grown on me.
I like him.
The guy can play. I mean, you say what you will about him, but he can play.
He was in a bad spot with Cleveland. Cleveland actually traded him so they could sign Deshaun Watson. Oh. Deshaun has been horrendous, and Mayfield's playing well for the Bucs. Now, I don't know what Todd Bowles was thinking. First of all, the Chiefs win it. Chiefs win it in overtime. As we mentioned, they've won 14 in a row. Mahomes, 34 of 44, 291 and everything. It was 30-24 in overtime. They're 8-0. All right. Bucs score late to tie, right?
Uh-huh.
And Todd Bowles kicks the extra point.
Okay.
You're on the road.
I get
it's the defending Super Bowl champion.
Yep.
Time to make your statement. You go for two. You want to win it right there. They go to overtime. Did you see on Twitter? I saw a great picture. On Twitter, the reaction from Baker Mayfield on the overtime coin toss when he's calling it for the Bucs and Mahomes is calling it for the Chiefs, and the Chiefs win the toss and Baker goes right in the middle of the field. He knows that their chance had come and gone.
What do you think his defense thought about that? Wow, our quarterback doesn't have he ain't got a lot of faith in us.
That's exactly that's not good body language, Baker. That's not good mojo as leader of the team to go.
Yeah, well, the truth hurts sometimes. Crap. Yeah, truth hurts.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our last break. We got one more topic on the wheel, and we'll get to that when we return. Great chats coming in on our River Region Straw chat line, our Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry email inbox. We've also we've already got some Dreamland pick threes coming in for this week. Love it.
Awesome.
We really appreciate that. Keep those coming throughout the first kick of your game on whatever games you pick. And we'll be back in a second, I believe.
Yep, it's Longshore and McKnight presented by Bud Light.
Enjoy all the food, drink, fun, and winning at Victoryland. An elevated entertainment value, the best overall casino experience, and the highest jackpot payouts makes Victoryland the place to be. Go to Victoryland.com to find out more about their incredible giveaways, daily promotions, and free play opportunities. 777 Casino, simulcast Thoroughbred, and Greyhound Racing are all within a short drive from anywhere in the Southeast. Victoryland, I-85, exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. At Victoryland, you can be a winner too.
Is there a certain Ford car, truck, or SUV that piques your interest, but you are not quite sure if it fits into your budget? Or perhaps you want to upgrade your current vehicle, but you absolutely refuse to deal with the same old aggressive and pushy song and dance that is found at the average car dealership? Then Stivers Ford is here to show you a better way. Their knowledgeable and courteous sales staff, the largest Ford inventory in Alabama, and of course, price. At Stivers Ford in Montgomery, Price sells cars. 4000 Eastern Boulevard at the Troy Highway. Or check out their inventory at stiversfordofmontgomery.com.
Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air rallies for you. No matter the problem, Dixie will tackle it. Their licensed and trusted electricians, plumbers, air and garage door technicians are ready to win for you. From toilets to garbage disposals, circuit breakers to HVAC systems, Dixie never fumbles. Don't throw away your hard-earned money on second-string contracting companies. Score big with Dixie. After all, they are your biggest fan. Visit calldixie.com or dial them up locally at 262-2946. I was just reading the chat line, chuckling. Theodis, you might be right. He says the Saints might be London's new favorite team.
I don't know. The Jaguars are still the leader there. I do think it was a pretty good chat from Curtis. Curtis says, "Can we buy a hook on the pick 3 for a $40 gift card?" Hey, you got no in the pocket, Curtis. You might as well ask.
Yeah, it seems a little complicated, but we'll get that to our promotions and marketing department and see what they say. Before we spin that wheel one last time, I feel like this is a Texas A&M South Carolina situation. Is it just me, or should Georgia be more than a 2.5-point favorite at Ole Miss?
I kind of like it. Ole Miss will score. Ole Miss will definitely score. They're playing at home, which they laid an egg against Kentucky, for guys' sakes.
Well, what is Lane Kiffin's biggest win? Would this be it?
Oh, no doubt this would be it. No question. No question. But, Georgia, here's the deal, and I don't know what it is, and I know there's no Brock Bowers. I know there's no Ladd McConkey. You've made the point before that you're not seeing a lot of explosiveness in their wide receivers. And Carson Beck is throwing the ball to the other team all day. I think he threw 4 interceptions last year, the whole year. He's already got a ton. And, they don't have the run game they had, although it's still really good. They don't have the receivers that they had, although they're still pretty good. The problem on offense has been Beck in his decision-making. He made a couple of throws against Texas that if that defense for Georgia wasn't getting after people, they'd have lost that game. I mean, it's much more a defensive setup than it was. I like that line. I think that's about right.
All right. Okay. Maybe more at 8:05 on Friday, possibly.
Yeah.
From Stivers Ford in Montgomery.
Yes.
All right. Our last topic on our Victoryland 777 topic wheel is harsh reality. We're going to spin it just for, it's kind of like kicking the extra point after you've won the game. You got to
just kind of, we like it. It looks pretty. Yeah. It's one of John's favorite phrases. According to Longshore, and this is for years and years, it was like Ellis said, kids have grown up with us.
Yeah.
According to John, he likes the phrase harsh reality because the only reality is harsh reality. There's not warm and fuzzy reality. Not really. No, this is reality. This is reality. Harsh reality.
Maybe I should have put harsh, as in harsh sun reality. And I've said this many, many times. We talked about it with Bryan Matthews today. The harsh reality is it's not an overnight fix. It's not going to be fixed overnight. And I know what people are saying. They're not happy if Lamo comes into Auburn next week and gives them a game or God forbid, beats them. Oh, gee whiz, there'll be panic attacks all over the place. But A&M's going to be a tough out, even at home, where Auburn hadn't won a lot of conference games lately. Going to Tuscaloosa, usually not good for Auburn either. So probably the record at best is going to be 1-2 from here on out. Could be better, who knows, but I'm going to say 1-2. And then it gets to recruiting, and that's where things seem to be going well. I don't like this skies falling business bear that, we're losing and we're not any good, and the recruits are going to leave.
Not that.
They don't care. Yeah. The recruits could care less what the record is. They're what they care about. How much am I getting paid, and when am I going to get on the field?
That's harsh reality right here. And Bryan did say it's been amazing how he's been able to keep this recruiting class together without the success on the field. He's not going to. He's got at least one more year, and it's strictly because they've been recruiting so well. If they keep on to it. The other thing about it is what John and I always say when people are clamoring for a change. Well, who are you going to get? Don't give me Kenny Dillingham.
No.
Don't give me Kenny Dillingham, who I think was the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Auburn for 1 year. And he was born in 1990. He was 7 when John and I first started doing this show. Don't give me Rhett Lashley. He was the OC and quarterbacks coach at Auburn for, I think, 4 years under Malzahn. And they clashed left and right. I don't think Lashley laments leaving Auburn at all. So
here's what I think you'll see, Barry. I think Auburn, I think Freeze has got to do everything he can to keep DJ Durkin on that staff. I think the Auburn defense has been really good, and they played a lot of young people. Are there going to be some changes on that offensive staff?
There needs to be. There needs to be. And that is the harsh reality. Yeah, well, busy show today. Gosh, we're so thankful to be a part of Yellowhammer News and a chance to visit with Ellis Terry. Also, Carolyn Dobson, Alabama's 2nd Congressional District Representative candidate, live just after voting. Bryan Matthews, AuburnSports.com, Travis Ryer, Talking Tide. As always, we encourage you to hit the like button. We encourage you to hit the subscribe button. But today, that's not the most important thing. Hit that voting booth today.
Hit that voting booth today. I'm about to go in an hour or so.
Me
I'm
too.
going to go to my old stomping grounds over at Cloverdale Junior High School. That's where I vote. Might just walk around, take a big sniff of the locker
memories
rooms.
are flooding back.
Oh,
man, yeah. I remember I got that guy for 7-1, and it paid off. And he, right over there by that locker. Oh, it was
we
sweet.
Vote in the gym, Barry, and every time I walk in the gym, I go, that's where the flop was invented.
That's
there.
Exactly right. I know where the backboards are because that's all I used. Yes, sir. Well, for all of our great
they didn't have 3-point lines back then, unfortunately.
No, they did not.
Still jacked it up from 1909.
For all of our wonderful guests and for you, our viewers and listeners, subscribers and likers and everything, that's our show for this Election Day Tuesday. For John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight. Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.